What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terence Bud Crawford. 38 wins, no loss, and no draw. 29 big wins by way of knockout. He is 34 years of age, 5'8", with a 74-inch arm reach. He finally responds. Terence Crawford has been leaked to undisputed junior welterweight world champion, British superstar boxer Josh Taylor, who is now 19 wins, no losses, no draws. And Josh Taylor is 13 wins by way of knockout. He is 31 years of age, 5'10", with a 69-inch arm reach. He defended his undisputed titles today against Jack Catterall, in which Jack Catterall came in the fight 26 wins, no losses, no draws, 13 wins by way of knockout himself, 28 years of age, 5'7", with a 67-inch arm reach, okay? Josh Taylor faced a lot of adversity in this fight. He was dropped in the 8th round, and ultimately I thought he lost the first 6 rounds clearly. Then he was dropped in the 8th round. So I thought going into the second half of the fight, he needed a knockout to be victorious, okay? The UK commentators and the commentators for this fight, you know, they're not happy, okay? You got plenty of them complaining that, you know, they thought Josh Taylor clearly lost this fight, okay? And they calling for Josh Taylor to give Jack Catterall an immediate rematch, in which Josh Taylor, he stated they don't have a rematch clause and he has no plans to give Jack Catterall a rematch, okay? Now, Terence Crawford has been long linked to Josh Taylor because Josh Taylor's with legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter Bob Arum, and Top Rank. And Bob Arum has been long wanting to make this fight between the two, okay? The last two undisputed junior welterweights, there's a storyline. And Josh Taylor is a very big junior welterweight at 5'10", with nearly a 70-inch arm reach, okay? And he's a southpaw as well. So with that said, he's beat some of the best fighters. He beat Regis Prograis, Josh Taylor. He also beat, you know, Jose Ramirez, okay? He beat some very, very credible opponents. He beat, you know, Ivan Baranchik. You know, he beat Ryan Martin, Victor Postal. You know, he won the Muhammad Ali Trophy in the tournament. So he, you know, his star power in the UK is huge. Okay, and so with that said, he's a southpaw. He's big. You know, he's undisputed. So the storyline is big for Terence Crawford and Josh Taylor. But in this fight, Jack Catterall, who is also a southpaw, you know, but he's not the biggest guy. He was countering Josh Taylor the entire night. He was clipping Josh Taylor with the 1-2, the left hand. He didn't see the left hand at all. His right eye started to swell. And even, you know, Josh Taylor, at the end of the fight, he stated that he wasn't happy, you know, with the performance. He wasn't happy with the outcome. But yet he felt like he clearly won the fight, when most people feel like you didn't clearly win this fight, okay? Most people feel like, you know, you clearly lost the fight. I thought he clearly lost the fight. What I thought happened in the fight was that, you know, in the second half of the fight, you know, I thought that Jack Catterall, he let off the gas, right? And so Jack Catterall, he allowed Josh Taylor, you know, to be aggressive, because Josh Taylor was aggressive all night. He was pressing the fight, but he clearly, in my opinion, was losing. He wasn't landing his punches. He was throwing one jab and leaning and laying on Jack Catterall. You know, he kept getting countered. You know, he had no adjustments. He had no answers for the left hand. But again, in that 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th round, Jack Catterall, he let off the gas, and he wasn't throwing the left hand. He wasn't being busy. He wasn't countering Josh Taylor, and he seemed to be gassed, okay? And from that point, I continue to state that they're going to give this fight to Josh Taylor because he's the champion. The fight was taking place in his backyard, and no way they're going to give an undisputed champion belt away to a guy who was a massive underdog, who took step-aside money to allow the undisputed match to take place, although he dropped Josh Taylor, okay? And then the referee, he took a point away from Jack Catterall for no reason, for a punch behind the head. Okay, that was in the 9th round. Okay, so after he dropped Josh Taylor in the 8th round, the referee immediately took a point from him in the next round, and he needed to win that round clearly because at the very least it would have been a 9-9 round. But he allowed Josh Taylor to win that round, so it turned into a 10-8 round because he lost the point. Okay, so now Josh Taylor made up ground for the round he was dropped in. Okay, and then again, Jack Catterall wasn't active. Okay, he looked fatigued. And so I knew if he didn't win one of those rounds convincingly, at least the 10th round, 11th, one of those rounds he had to convincingly win and the judges would give it to him. Okay. And so one of the judges had Josh Taylor winning in a landslide, which is a travesty. Okay. There's no way you can see Josh Taylor winning in a landslide. Okay. And so you even had Adam Smith of the UK, an announcer. He is absolutely livid. Okay, he stated that there's no explanation for this. This is a horrible decision. Jack Catterall needs to get an immediate rematch, but they know Josh Taylor is not going to give him the rematch. He already stated, I don't have a rematch clause, and there's no reason to give him a rematch. Okay, you have plenty of people from the UK, announcers and things of that nature, that are not happy with this decision. They're not happy with Josh Taylor, claiming that he thought he clearly won the fight. Okay, and so you had Terence Crawford now. Again, he's been linked to this. Josh Taylor, he stated he make it his business that he's going to move up to 147. He's the WBO champion. So the way the World Boxing Organization operates, they'll make him the mandatory for Terence Crawford. So he stated that that's the route he was going to take. He's going to make himself the mandatory challenger for Terence Crawford at 147 because he knows how to beat Terence Crawford. Okay, so he stated that that's the fight he wants. And Bob Arum, he stated that although Terence Crawford now has parted ways with top-ranked Bob Arum, and he's taking them to court. So there's a situation there that's definitely going to see it being a problem since Terence Crawford is suing Top Rank and Bob Arum. How are they going to make this fight happen? Josh Taylor, he believes that the fight still will definitely be made. Okay, so with that said, now Terence Crawford, he finally responds, and Terence Crawford said, "There's no way you're on my level. There's levels to this. Okay, at the very best, you got to draw." He said, Terence Crawford stated, I knew at the very best he was going to get a draw, and they gave it to him. He said, you're not on my level. I'm different, and I'll knock out Josh Taylor. Okay, so he made it abundantly clear that he'll knock out Josh Taylor. He stated that there's levels to this, and he knew the home cooking, was going to see Josh Taylor get at least a draw. They wasn't going to take the belts from him, and that's exactly what I was stating. That you have to take it from the champion, and since you had the momentum, see he had the momentum on his side going into the ninth after he dropped Josh Taylor and clearly dropped him with a left hand that Josh Taylor had no answer for in the 8th round. You had the momentum. All he had to do was win one more round. If he would have clearly won one more round, he should have turned it into a 4-round fight at that point in time. I just got to win one of these 4, the 9th, 10th, 11th, or the 12th round. It's a 4-round fight, and all I got to do is win one round. If he would have had that mindset, okay, I got to clearly, decisively win one of these rounds and separate myself. And then after the 9th round, when the referee took a point away, then he should have been even more desperate. You're in Josh Taylor's backyard. He is the favorite, okay, the heavily favorite. He's the fan favorite, okay. He's undisputed, okay. So he's riding the high. He's considered a pound-for-pound best fighter. There's no way you're going to just ride off with a lackluster second half in the championship rounds and win this fight. They're not going to give it to you. And so Terence Crawford, he stated he knew that it was a little bit of home cooking, okay? And you had, again, Adam Smith. He said the same thing, okay? You have, Matt Macklin, okay? Matthew Macklin, he said that it was a robbery. Natasha Jonas, she said it was a robbery, okay? So the entire boxing world is saying it was a robbery, okay? You got Carl Frampton. Carl Frampton is saying it was a robbery, okay? So you have high-profile fighters and his peers that are saying that this was an absolute robbery, okay? If you got Carl Frampton saying this is a robbery, you got Natasha Jonas, she's saying it's a robbery, okay? You got Matthew Macklin saying it's a robbery. Adam Smith saying it's a robbery, okay? It's far too many people that saying it's a robbery, and so Terence Crawford is saying, ain't no way you on my level, and I'm knocking Josh Taylor out so we make this fight happen. So we got to see how it unfolds and plays out. Terence Crawford is a network promotional free agent. I think it's going to be very difficult to negotiate a fight between Terence Crawford and Josh Taylor, but this is a fight that Josh Taylor wants. He stated that, of course, he stated that the weight was an issue. He couldn't make weight. You know, he was struggling to make weight, and that's why he was fatigued. But he made no adjustments. It had nothing to do with the weight. It had everything to do with skills and mindset and adjustments, and he had none of them tonight. He had no answer for a basic 1-2 left hand from and counter jab from Jack Catterall, okay? So let's see how this unfolds. Let's see if they make this fight happen. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.